How old are you?
18.
Good job, you're going to jail.
Can you please grab my phone and my license for me?
You're now going to jail. Do you understand? Pull over for headlight and speed.
Okay.
Cracks her window. Ask her to roll it down the rest of the way. Cracks it another ½ inch. Ask her to exit. She refuses to exit until I tell her why. Tell her about 4 or 5 times to exit the vehicle. You don't want to go down this route. Refuse to exit. So, pulled her ass out, put her in an arm bar, slammed her to the ground, got her in custody.
How old is she?
She says she's 18.
Okay.
So she's going to go to jail. Of course, my body cam didn't turn on when I told it to.
Welcome everybody, another episode of Ernie Racing News. Today we're talking about justice for Vivien. It's justiceforvivien.com. You're going to see why as we get into it. This is about police tyrants, and in particular a story about this 18-year-old girl who was attacked, assaulted by a police officer, and he charged her for resisting arrest and refusal to provide ID. Where have we seen this before? Well, all the time, around in circles with the cops. This is out of Indiana, however, not RCMP. January 24th, 2024, Vivien was pulled over for what should have been a standard speeding ticket. What resulted in less than 1 minute and 30 was a police officer opening her car door, ripping her from the car, throwing her on the ground, cuffing her, and taking her into custody. Only after she was in custody was she informed of why she had been stopped. Justice for Vivien is a hashtag focused on awareness that there is a need for better training and administrative oversight of police to provide justice for all. And so, be heard. Below are the email addresses of the South Whitley Town Council. Make your concerns known. And then there's the email addresses, guys. Email Town Council. And so, about better training for officers, the state of Indiana requires only 600 hours of training before considering a police officer qualified to enter the community armed with a deadly weapon, badge, and squad car. And you guys can read this yourself. We obviously know police... There's just so many bad ones in a pile of good ones. There's always many bad apples, and there seems to be more bad apples than good ones these days, especially in Canada as well. Okay. And yeah, make sure you get on that website, sign the petition, guys, and let's watch the video footage of what happened to Vivien, is in high school senior whose family has lived in the community of South Whitney since her birth. Yeah, so let's watch it. Okay, so here is the officer pulling Vivien over. She pulls into a gas station. Again, this is Wednesday, January 24th. 2024, not too long ago. He opens her door in less than 18 seconds. So he's asking Vivien for her ID, and he asks her to open initially the window more than a couple cracks, and she's looking for her ID. She says her ID was in her bag, her school bag, and so she had to find the ID. And as she's in the process of kind of getting her ID, she literally gets it in her hand when all of a sudden he grabs her. You can hear her scream out F in anger and pain, obviously. Anyways, so that is the assault on this 18-year-old girl, guys. And so let's go into the details. There actually is a lawyer who has broken this down on his YouTube channel, the civil rights lawyer, Brian. Let's take a look at how he explains step by step. Okay, here's the civil rights lawyer breaking it down. Thanks, Brian.
How old are you?
18.
Good job, you're going to jail.
Can you please grab my phone and my license for me?
You're now going to jail. You understand?
This police officer just violently arrested an 18-year-old high school student after pulling her over for allegedly speeding, and now he's explaining to his responding backup exactly what he just did.
Pull over for headlight and speed.
Okay.
Cracks her window. Ask her to roll it down the rest of the way. Cracked it another half inch. Ask her to exit. She refuses to exit until I tell her why. Tell her about 4 or 5 times, exit the vehicle. You don't want to go down this route. Refuse to exit. So, pulled her ass out, put her in arm bar, slammed her to the ground, got her in custody.
How old is she?
She says she's 18.
Okay.
So she's going to go to jail. Of course, my body cam didn't turn on when I told it to.
Of course. It didn't turn his body cam on until after he slams her to the ground. Oh, make sure you go in the comments, guys, and tell us if this disturbs you, and what you think about the whole incident.
Of course, his body cam didn't turn on until after he took down and violently armbarred an 18-year-old high school girl. But lucky for us, this gas station's cameras were working, as well as the officer's dash cam. And you need to see this footage, because if this one does not make you mad, then you are part of the problem. Let's go through it. The South Whitley Police Department, Officer Brian Schimmel, he only began working there in October of 2023. And he pulls over this high school senior, Vivian Augustus, who was 18 at the time. On January 24th of 2024, Vivian's parents say that she was driving home from school and was pulling into the South Whitley Marathon gas station.
So he said he started working there in October of 2023. So he's working there 3 or 4 months. This is a total newbie tyrant.
On South State Street. They say that she was nervous because this was the first time that she had ever been pulled over. South Whitley officer Brian Schimmel says that he pulled her over because she had a headlight out and was speeding. He comes up and asks her to roll down the window, which she does very quickly, her father said. So she's looking for her driver's license and registration, and she says she asked him why she was being pulled over, and that she was told that didn't matter, and she needed to get out of the car. She was still trying to find her driver's license and registration. He opened up the vehicle, told her to get out of the car, while she's still trying to find it. She keeps it in her lanyard with her student ID. She said as soon as he opened the door, she was just scared, her mother said. I could just imagine she probably wasn't super efficient.
Well, we're all, as soon as the lights come on behind you, when you're just driving down the road legally and doing everything on the highway, lights come on behind you, and then the cop rips past you, you know how the dopamine rises in you, right? Now imagine he's opening your door.
And finding what she was looking for. Surveillance video from the gas station and Officer Schimmel's dash cam video shows him pulling her violently from the car onto the pavement. Him pulling her violently from the car onto the pavement.
Because she is such a threat to society. Like, what is the purpose of police? To protect the citizens, especially of their own county. Not in today's world, guys. This 4-month officer really caught himself a real good criminal in the first couple of reps.
It didn't have to be like this.
Notice there's a wedding ring on Officer Schimmel's left hand. Somebody might want to check on his wife to make sure that she's all right.
Bam.
All right, get up. Roll over.
Hear that comment? Somebody should make sure they check on his wife. Yeah, Brian's wife.
Your butt.
I have a knee injury. Please help me out.
Which knee's hurt?
No, I have it.
Okay. Ready? We're gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3, up. How old are you?
18.
Good job. You're going to jail.
She is so calm too. I can't believe it. I would be like,
Refusing to identify.
He tells her he's arresting her for refusal to identify, but you'll see here just in a couple of seconds Her ID is actually on the asphalt, where when he violently pulled her out of the car and took her to the asphalt, the ID was clearly in her hands or somewhere readily accessible, probably attempting to give it to him, and now it's on the ground. Also, take a look at the side of this police car. In the words police, they're black letters with a blue line right through the middle, and that should tell you everything you need to know about why this guy's acting the way he is. Because thin blue line, what does that mean? It means us versus them. It means we protect our own first.
Did you guys know that? Actually, I've never heard that before. The Thin Blue Line. It's like a movie title, isn't it? The Thin Blue Line? So if you're in the know-how of this, as this lawyer, Brian is, the Thin Blue Line, guys, do you know, have you heard this before? Is this like a little signal to themselves that we protect our own, we're going to cover up anything we do? I wonder if that happens with the RCMP. I wonder why I'm 2 years into my CRCC Police Responsibility Unit investigation with Corporal, now Sergeant Failer, and we still have monthly updates saying ongoing investigation 2 years later into Constable Conrad Herbs.
Rather than protect and serve 18-year-old high school students, for instance.
Can you please grab my things for me?
Your what?
Can you please grab my phone and my license for me?
Yep. Take a seat.
And my keys?
Take a seat.
Super calm. I can't believe that comes to you. There he goes. He picks up. There's her ID, her keys, her wallet. Now listen to this.
All right, Vivian. Are you injured in any way? Would you like the medics to check you out? Okay. I'm going to read you your Miranda rights, okay? I have to read these to you since you're in custody, all right? This is your Miranda warning. Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and have them with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you also have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand your rights? Okay, I'm not going to ask you any questions right now. What I am going to tell you is you were pulled over for your speed and your headlight, okay? Your speed was 37 and then 30, not that big of a deal, and your headlight was out on your driver's side.
So this is the first time she's being told why she was pulled over and why she's being arrested.
Pulling you over to let you know. If you would have just given me your license and your registration like I asked you to do, you would have gone away with a warning tonight, okay? But however, since you decided to pull this right here, where you don't want to comply, you don't want to give me your ID, and you think you're going to run the scene, you're now going to jail. Do you understand?
I was trying to give you my...
You were not. How many...
He sure is angry. He sure is angry out the world. And you think you can run the scene. You don't want to comply with me. You failed to comply with me, so I'm failing to comply with you and the Constitution and the law.
How times did I ask you? You were not. I've got a body cam on. It'll show you not pulling your ID out.
Liar, liar. He didn't have his body cam on, and he admits it later on camera.
When I ask you to step out of the vehicle, you step out of the vehicle. You don't get to sit there and tell me how I'm going to do my job. You understand?
See what I mean? This tough guy.
Yeah, she was saying my ID is attached to my lanyard. It's hard. I had to get it out. He only gave her. He opened her door in 19 seconds, and in a minute and 30, he rips her out of the vehicle. Yeah, so he gave her a reasonable amount of time to produce her ID and driver's license, for sure.
Getting angry, slamming the door, and the way he's talking to a little girl, telling her that he had his body cam on, when he knew very well that his body cam was not recording during their conversation. As he tells this other police officer who arrives as backup for this dangerous high school girl.
What you got? Pull over for headlight and speed.
Okay.
Cracks her window. Ask her to roll it down the rest of the way. Cracked it another half inch. Ask her to exit. She refuses to exit until I tell her why. Tell her about 4 or 5 times to exit the vehicle. You don't want to go down this route. Refuse to exit. So, pulled her ass out, put her in arm bar, slammed her to the ground, got her in custody.
How old is she?
She says she's 18.
Okay.
So she's going to go to jail.
So she's gonna go to jail. I put her in an arm bar and I wrestled her down like it's like UFC. I'm awesome. 4 months on the job.
Of course, my body cam didn't turn on when I told it to. You're gonna have to back out, man. There's no room over there.
plug up the whole damn parking.
Okay, well, the problem here, sir, is that she pulled in here. I didn't pull her in here, so get off my scene. Get off my scene.
Yet again, we have a
Yes. It's like we're saying the same thing, Brian. Yet again, we have this. He is freaking out of control, this cop. He has no de-escalation skills. He is angry. He is yelling. He has no control of his emotions, his dopamine, his adrenaline. He's out of control. He should be in jail.
demonstration here on the body cam that was recorded that this guy has a temper. Of course, he did not have a temper when his body cam was not running. That was all the little girl's doing. She's clearly a criminal.
Yeah, you could just imagine how he was talking to her when we don't have the audio, right, Doctor? Like, he was like, give me, you know, we don't know, but we can suspect, give me your ID, give me your ID, give me your ID, just going off on her. She must have been freaking scared, if we can assume he continued on with the same course of how he verbally spoke.
Everybody needs to bow down
actions.
and respect his authority and just get out of his way, because he is the government. He is the thin blue line. I mean, it's right there on his police car.
Good family.
You know about him?
Signal 80.
What?
Valid return, signal 80. Yep.
This guy's 655. She's going to be in custody. Failure to identify and resisting.
Failure to identify and resisting arrest. Well, these are definitely limited charges. It's more like the other way around. You didn't tell her what her crime was committed. You had no right to reasonable articulable suspicion that she committed an actual criminal crime, So how can you rip her out of her vehicle for a traffic ticket? She was trying to get her ID to you, and you just freaking assault her.
He sort of hooked my way. Next off rotation.
You know what you're getting into. Their son is at school. We do it all the time. And that they're... Yeah. So was your dash cam going?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all we need.
Yeah, dash cam was going. But body cam didn't go on until she was already on the ground. We've also got the gas station footage too.
Make sure you're articulate because I'm right now.
Listen to that. Make sure you're articulate with how you write this down. How you write your report. He's trying to help this novice 3-month-old cop about how to write this report. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry. You're not gonna be fired. Don't worry. This is fine. You're allowed to beat up on 18-year-old girls who are coming home from high school in grade 12 or whatever. Yes, this is it, guys. This is our police protecting police. That cop should be like, well, what did you do? He should be pissed off. He should absolutely be like, oh, this doesn't look good. What have you done here? You know, we gotta look at this footage. You're gonna be in trouble probably.
The way the family is. I can tell you right now the way the family is. Make sure.
Well, I mean,
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
she didn't identify, and then she resisted.
No, I'm just talking.
I mean, it's cut and dry.
Just sit there. She's.
It's cut and dry. She resisted. She didn't identify. Anyways, guys, I think you've seen enough. We got a tyrant cop, and it just reminds me about why I have to work so hard to go to court again with Constable Conrad Erbs, because these tyrants will continue to grow. They get bigger and bigger government, and they lose their mind even more. And this is what you fear, of course. And he'll be continuing to be a tyrant for the rest of his career unless somebody steps up to the plate and has them reprimanded. So, well, in terms of Conrad Erbs, it has to be me. And court May 2nd, guys, 2024. I should submit my video footage to this lawyer as well. Maybe he'll break down the Conrad Erbs saga. Anyways, guys, make sure you get on the website for the Vivien. As I posted, it'll be in the description as well. And sign the petition. And let's make sure these tyrants don't work any longer. Also, I wanted to give you an update. I read the update after this video was released not too long ago. This video has almost 800,000 views from the lawyer, civil rights lawyer. Okay, so here we're on the civil rights lawyer. He's got 513,000 subscribers, so he's got a very quality channel. 801,000 views posted April 18th, guys. I mean, this thing is just going wild, and then obviously the comments are going wild as well. Let's take a look. And so I'm going to check out the community section. This is what I came across. Posted 23 hours ago. So posted, you know, this video was posted the day before, like 40 hours ago. And here we have it. If you haven't seen my last video, check it out. The police department deleted their Facebook page within 40 minutes of the video being posted. And in less than 24 hours, all charges were dropped and the cop was fired once again, this audience achieves in hours what years of lawsuits couldn't. And then, so yeah, guys, this is why we have video footage. This is why it's so important to film the police and have accountability. Great job. Show us where and we will act. Freedom isn't scary. Freedom isn't just scary, it's hard to work too. Great news. I emailed the city council and gave them my 2 cents. They stood up and stopped tyranny dead in its tracks. Now I hope the father sues South Whitney, Illinois, Indiana for millions. Now it's time for that young lady to sue that officer personally for violating her civil rights. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Justice for Vivien. She finally the cop was fired. And we can only hope the same happens for more tyrants out there. They should be afraid. They should be working for the citizens, not being a tyrant. Ernie Racing News. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and get in the comments to make sure the YouTube censorship algorithm doesn't destroy this video once again. Cheers.